Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. I hope you guys are ready to make it weird because it's time for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness. It is Illinois Archery season 2018, week number 13. Is 13 a lucky number? Is 13 an unlucky number? Speaking of making it weird, until midnight, New Year's Eve, you can use the discount code of WEIRD at TexGrebnerOutdoors.com on all your merchandise needs if you want to support the channel and get in under the wire. Also, we will be dropping new merch around through the ATA show for 2019 because it seems like the time to do it. Also, the coupon code of Tex Grebner for Three Rivers Archery is still going to be active so that you can get a discount on your traditional archery supplies. Now, the question is 13 my lucky week? Did I kill with sticks? As it stands right now, I have not been able to get my camera repaired, and I haven't been able to get a replacement camera. Odds are I'm probably just going to wait until the end of the season before I send it in to get repaired, because I don't dare be without it and not be able to film with multiple angles, because it does still film. The good news is there is redundancy in the design, so I can use the eye port when I'm standing on the ground to actually position the camera. I just have to keep real careful track of when I hit record so that I'm not double tapping and then there's missing time in between when a deer shows up. And I also have to be careful that I'm not zooming the camera in by accident by bumping the zoom rocker. Now, while the gods of the hunt hate me, there is at least some decent karma in the world, because I was able to get some climbing rope donated to me, so it makes the muddy-ass hill a hell of a lot more manageable, because I can actually do a controlled descent down the mud slick, so I'm incredibly grateful for that. The wind was perfect. The creek was just so peaceful sounding as the water rushed over the rocks in the background of my hearing while I waited to hear the splashing in the creek of a deer or the twang of a fence wire. It was still unseasonably warm, and I admit there's a sense of futility. I feel like I've wasted all my chances, and I wish that I could turn back time and do the season over again with what I know now, but I'm too far down the rabbit hole to be able to turn back. Of course, there's no knowing what may happen in the rest of the season, even if I do have a real good idea. I got into my stand about 10 in the morning because I didn't have a whole lot to do today. I was hoping that I'd be able to get here before the deer were heading into the bedding area on the other side of the fence, or that I would be able to intercept them as they came across the creek. Of course, the early afternoon turned into the late afternoon, and then turned into evening, and nothing had showed up yet. I was in for an all-day sit. Funny thing is, sometimes my plans are just dumb enough to work, because as the evening chill hit, here I looked over my shoulder, and standing on the creek bank, well within range of the spot that I wasn't sitting in, here was a doe, and I would have been able to kill her dead if I had sat in the other stand on the ground rather than sitting the Osage stand. But the high-stakes game of whack-a-mole is a real thing. There is really no patterning a whitetail in the later seasons. I've pretty much lost all faith in food plots at this point, at least with the whitetail that I have to hunt. But I wasn't entirely sure if the day was totally screwed, because there was still that chance, that hope, that a deer would be coming past this stand, because it is one of their well-used trails. Every hunt always starts out with the thought or the feeling that today's going to be the day. Today's going to be the day I'm going to get down the hill, I'm going to get set up,
The wind's going to be good. The deer are going to be coming past this spot. I'm going to put an arrow through its heart, and I'm going to break the whitetail curse. Every hunt starts out with that feeling. And then you get there, you get set up, and you sit for about 10 minutes, and then you start realizing, nope, today's probably not going to be the day that everything goes right. But I won't know until I sit here till dark, just to be sure. Now, I've come to realize that I've got a weird kind of relationship with the gods of the hunt, so to speak. The gods of the hunt love me so much, they just love to see me suffer more. They like to watch me squirm and fidget in my stand. And this is a good spot. I know for a fact that I saw a deer walk right past this very spot yesterday. I know that it's a good spot. I know that I'm a good shot. I know that things can work out. I'm inches from greatness. Because it would be such an incredible victory to kill a whitetail with a traditional bow in the later season. And it would be icing on the cake of that victory party if I were to do it inside of 20 yards on the ground. And so there is that hope. Now I know, as I've said, that this is a good spot. But the question is it still a good spot? Are the deer organically still going to move by it while I'm actually sitting in it? Now, I hate to say that I've given up all hope on the season for the rest of the season, but it is kind of true. I haven't really got high hopes for the rest of the season, but I'm going to continue going out because I have to, not because I want to. We're in Ahab territory at this point, but I find myself fantasizing about the next season. When these woods are warm, misty, wet, and verdant, this would be the absolute perfect spot to sit when the deer will be coming from my right side across the creek, or coming down to the creek from my left side. Now, I admit I've basically given up hope on food plots working because I have pretty much no evidence that the deer even give a single shit about my food plots. But it is also still unseasonably warm, comparatively speaking, so at least sitting in the woods hasn't become miserable yet. But I admit that hunting in the later seasons is an act of will, endurance, and mental toughness to go out every day that you possibly can, knowing that you're probably not going to be successful, but going out nevertheless. Mental toughness does not only mean the ability to climb mountains. Mental toughness can also be found in whitetail hunting. Now, what I will say is the sunsets are quite beautiful, but the darkness came down and it brought with it no deer. It was more like Easter weather than like Christmas weather. I wasn't able to hunt on Christmas Eve, so I made my best attempt to get out hunting as early as I could on Christmas Day. It was beautiful, but I know that the real winter misery is still to come. Now, as an adult, and even as a young adult, I've never been big into the Christmas season. And that's not because I have a lack of Christmas spirit, peace on earth, and goodwill toward men. It's mostly to do with the fact that it is a season of feasting. And when you're like me and you live your life 3 cookies away from disaster with a daily battle against addiction and obesity, it is a very difficult and depressing season. And I know that I definitely, over the course of the season, have gone over my caloric intake that would be recommended. I also live on a bootlace budget inches away from poverty, which is my own fault because the price of the freedom to do what I want, when I want, is a very expensive commodity. It's not like I couldn't get better jobs. It's just the simple fact that I would rather be broke and happy with what I'm doing, because you either have the time to do what you want or you have the money to do what you want. And while money makes it easier to be happy, money cannot buy happiness. That is a sad truth. And so I find myself depressed in the Christmas season that I have so very little to give anyone else. It was such a peaceful day, almost no wind, and the hypnotic sound of the bubbling creek in my ears while I waited and hoped for a deer to walk in front of me, trusting in the laws of randomness and hoping that the gods of the hunt would take pity upon me. And of course, enjoying as much of the Christmas spirit as I could, sitting, watching, waiting, and hoping for a Christmas miracle. And I also sat in my tree stand last night in the backyard just as a joke, hoping to fill my Christmas caribou tag. But naturally, I didn't have a shooting lane to my house when St. Nick stopped by with his radioactive nosed reindeer. As it stands right now, I have about, 30 minutes of daylight right now. And I know that I'm not gonna have a chance in hell of actually seeing anything if I come out here. So, as you can see, I'm basically fast roping my way down the hill, which makes a hell of a difference to actually be able to arrest momentum, because it's absolutely a bastard, because it's super slick. Crazy, I know. But I'm gonna put a trail camera down here and see what I can accomplish. Well, there we are. Back up the hill now. Thank God for Jim Mannon and the climbing ropes. Exactly where I don't want them to be.
I think it's safe to say at this point that I'm basically riding the season into the ground. I'm gonna be going out as many days as I possibly can get out, and I'm gonna do my best. I live in reality. This is the reality of my archery season. I've made mistakes so far. I've had some catastrophic failures. There's things that I can't change. I admit I kind of wish that the season would just get over. That way I could move on with my life, start over fresh next year with what I know now. And that's true, but I'm also would rather be going out and be depressed in the woods rather than sitting at home where I don't have a chance of success, even if my chances of a deer taking my trail are very remote. And I admit that it can be frustrating, it can be emotionally taxing, But I hunt for thrill of the chase, and I traditional bow hunt for the challenge. There is no guarantee in hunting. I bring you the reality of my Illinois archery season. I deal in reality. I'm one of you. While I'm at it, life ain't like the pornos, and hunting ain't like the TV shows. As I said before, I will find a way of making it work, and so far I have managed to make my damaged camera pretty much perform by setting my functioning camera in the camera mount and then locking everything down and then putting the semi-functioning broken camera back into the mount for the hard camera angle. And after season's over with, I'm probably going to send it off to get repaired. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please become my friends over at threeriversarchery.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.